everybody? Welcome to another edition of Inside the Vinyl. I'm your host, Tim Bianconi. If you would go ahead and like, comment, share, subscribe to my channel below, that would be greatly appreciated. If you could also hit that notification bell so you could be notified when we put out new content, that would be appreciated also. And I recently just started a Facebook page for the Inside the Vinyl channel, so go ahead and check that out and give us a follow on there. I do post a lot of the videos, and at some point I'm going to start posting some other things to that, so check that out as well. So today is September 19th of 2025, and today we have a reissue of something that hasn't been available in any sort of reissue or any formats or whatever for like 40 years. And I am talking about the album Buckingham Nicks. Of course, this was the debut album, and I think only album to date, from Lindsay Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. This was pre-Fleetwood Mac. So just a little history on this album. This was originally released on September 5th of 1973. So a 52-year-old album we're talking about here. It originally came out on the Polydor label. It was produced by Keith Olsen. And it reached, so I don't think it reached anything on the top 200 charts, but it reached number 28 on something called the Midline LPs chart. I imagine it will probably chart with this reissue that just came out, but so far just on this Midline LPs chart that I've never heard of. Maybe that was like the heat seeker at the time, I'm not sure. There are no certifications. It's never been certified gold or platinum, and again, hasn't really been available in roughly 40 years or so. So let's take a look here. So anyway, there we go. Buckingham Nicks on the front cover with the cellophane and the hype sticker and a price tag. And the back cover, which is just a different color variation, I guess, of the front cover. Nothing else on there. So let's take a look at this hype sticker. And of course, for whatever reason, I have to take my glasses off so I can read things. All right, this says the legendary debut studio album from Stevie Nicks and Lindsay Buckingham, available for the first time in over 40 years. Newly remastered from the analog tapes, and this one is on pink vinyl. And this is actually a part of, let's see, it says Vinyl Voice. I don't know what that means at the bottom. But this reissue is actually put out by Rhino Records. So, you know, more than likely it should be top-notch, quality-wise. It's pretty light, I will say. Like, the packaging and all is pretty light. So I don't know if this is, it doesn't say anything about 180 gram, I don't think. I'm not really sure. But, you know, the packaging and all is pretty light. But let's go ahead and see what's in here anyway. All right. Let's see if I can open this one up without getting a paper cut. There we go. All right. All right, so far so good. All right, let me treat that. I like to salvage the hype sticker if I'm able to. All right, so here we go. Front cover of Buckingham Nicks without the cellophane and without the hype sticker. Back cover again. This is a gatefold, even though I think it's just one record. So yeah, if you open up the gatefold, yeah, this is pretty cool. So you've got, you know, the lyric sheets, or the lyrics on both sides, as well as some liner notes and another picture of Lindsay and Stevie over there on the other side. So yeah, very cool there. All right, let's go ahead and see what the record looks like. And again, I think there's two versions that I'm aware of. There's a blue version, and then there's this pink version. So let's go ahead and see how this pink version looks. But we have this nice anti-static, well, actually I still need it. We have this nice anti-static sleeve here. And if I pull this out, I think this is going to be pretty fancy. And I wasn't wrong. Here we go, pink vinyl. With just a red Rhino Records sticker in the middle. It looks very much, I would imagine, kind of looks almost Columbia Records-ish, but maybe very similar to what the original Polydor sticker in the middle looked like. I don't know, I've never seen an original issue of this, so I'm not 100% sure. That's very Columbia Records, actually, if you know anything about vinyl, which, you know, I'm like, you know, middle of the road. All right, so there you go. Pretty much everything that's included there. And see if I can find where I can close this back up. All right. And again, nothing too flashy. You know, there's nothing else inside. There's no other inserts or anything like that. You know, pretty much has everything you need. I mean, you got the record, you've got the lyrics, you've got your liner notes. You know, so I don't know how much else you really need from this. But let's go ahead and talk about this record for a second. Let's see, like I said, this is the first reissue in over 40 years. And I think this is also available on CD today. And from what I understand, that is the first time it is officially available on CD. There's been bootleg versions and different things over time, but I think this is the first time this album will be available on CD. It's also available in all your digital formats, so check it out there. Singles. The most well-known song from this album is probably Don't Let Me Down. that, I think that might have been the only single per se, but that was actually performed later by Fleetwood Mac and featured on their 1980 live album. I don't remember the name of it. And then also there's Crystal, which was actually re-recorded by Fleetwood Mac for that 1975 album with the debut of Buckingham and Nix in Fleetwood Mac. So check that out. And then Crying in the Night is the first track on there, and it's very, very cool. And I mean, really, if you listen to this album, you can see the roots of everything that was going to come on the 1975 self-titled album Rumors, as far as the harmonies and the vocals and the writing style and the lyric style and all that kind of stuff. It very much sounds like, you could tweak this a little bit and call it a Fleetwood Mac album, because it's very reminiscent of what was coming when they would join Fleetwood Mac. Now, as far as the reissues and all that kind of stuff and the charts and all that, I imagine this might chart now based on this reissue, and because I've heard a lot about it, a lot of people talking about it, a lot of people looking forward to it. So I imagine it might actually get on the debut on the Billboard charts now, which would be really cool. I don't know if it would do enough to get certified for anything. Time will tell on that. But I definitely think this album will finally get its due, because I see this all the time in record stores. At least the original version. I gotta stop burping on camera. I see the original version in record stores all the time. It's generally up on the wall. It's generally pricey, and it's highly sought after. So I'm amazed with all the success and everything that came with Fleetwood Mac after they joined and all that the labels or whoever didn't jump all over this and get it back out there to try to, generate some sales and stuff from it. So I'm a little surprised that it's been out of print for the better part of, four decades or so. But it's back in print now. It's on vinyl. It's on CD. It's on streaming. So check it out. I can't imagine you'd be disappointed. I mean, I've listened to this album, and I mean, again, everything to me sounds like what would eventually morph into, their version of Fleetwood Mac. So check it out. You won't be disappointed. That's all I've got for you this time. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can be notified when we put out new content. I have the rest of my unboxing series where we open up new albums, reissues, remixes, deluxe editions, special editions, anniversary editions, whatever it is, box sets even. Sometimes they're CDs instead of vinyl. It just depends on what's coming out. I've got my greatest hits series that I just started, where we talk about greatest hits and other compilations and the good and the bad of all of those. I've got my Lost Classic series, where we talk about albums that may have gotten swept under the rug, but I think everyone should hear. I've got my live album series, where we talk about live albums from the 70s, 80s, and beyond. So check those out. And I've even got a couple of short documentary films I did for school. One is about a local disc golfer friend of mine, and the other is about the fire that took away our home. And I'm happy to report that I think we'll be back in there probably somewhere in the next, 3 to 6 months. Fingers crossed. Anyway, so like, comment, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Peace out. Devil Horn seems a little bit inappropriate for this album, but we'll run with it anyway.